Hello. I wanted to try to tell a story about what it is like being a new truck driver. I haven't been really keeping up with the series like I thought I might. I'm just not making videos often enough. I'm making this one on a reset day. A lot of times I just don't have the brain space or capacity when I park for the night. Most days I'm kind of tired, so stringing words together for a video on camera would probably be an unproductive use of time. So I usually just sleep. But I wanted to try to tell about this one story of I'm calling it the level 2 parking maneuver as a level 1 driver. They don't really have levels in this occupation, which they probably should, though. And almost everything else, there's some sort of level and progression system, and as you get more experience, you're expected to be able to do more difficult things. But in this one, we're all the same apparently, and we're all pretty much expected to get in anywhere anyone else has ever gotten into. So I think that's the rule. I don't know if there's more to it than that, but if a truck has ever parked here before, then every driver should be able to make that same maneuver. I think is how it goes right now. But this one that I had a load. It ended up. I actually didn't know what I had on me. I don't normally pay attention too much to whatever it is. I just see how heavy it is, go weigh it, and make sure it's riding correctly as this in the trailer, and just get it to where it's going. But I ended up finding out that this was insulation. It was home insulation, and this business was their business to install that insulation. And so it was a fairly small business as far as the docks that we normally go to. A lot of them are pretty massive with lots of trailers. This one had only 2 docks that were meant for semis. The rest, they had a bunch of garage doors that were meant for the box trucks that they use to their installers use. So this was in Peoria, Illinois. Nice enough place. It was a little chilly, but not too bad. And I got there an hour early for this one. It was a little bit unique. Most of the delivery times I have I've gotten so far have been pretty wide windows. Occasionally you'll get one that they're expecting you there at a more specific time. And this one, and the last one I had done that had that specific time, they didn't mind if you got there an hour early. I didn't see any notes. It didn't have any the stop that I had didn't have any notes about it. But I don't know. I didn't, without calling them, without knowing, I didn't know if they would accept me early. I forget. I don't know if there was a city I was trying to get through, but anyway, it worked out that I got there an hour early, so they weren't really ready for me. So I went and parked in a corner and waited for a while. They got there. All their employees showed up and got all their trucks ready to go, and they rolled out. And then after they were all clear of the lot, then they were ready for me to get the trailer back in. Actually, another semi showed up a little bit afterwards that went to the other dock that they had, but the dock that I was supposed to park in was more difficult one. The other dock was more of a, you could line it up for a straight back pretty much. But this one had it was a bit of a cramped spot. Directly in front of it, you couldn't you could just about, you could get a semi. There was probably a few feet in front without turning. But to get into that position was tough because on every side, pretty much every side, there was one side that had some space to it, but on even coming, I knew it was going to be a tough maneuver, and the guy that I was talking to, he had seen a bunch of drivers try it, and it sounded like a lot of them had struggled on the maneuver, and he told me what he knew about the ones that had succeeded. They had pulled up into this particular place that doesn't look great. It doesn't look like it would be the right thing to do, but that's what he said. They all end up doing is it's kind of a tight spot. You're not sure. It made me look feel nervous about like getting the truck back out. Like we're getting stuck. So I set up for the maneuver, and on the way in, so it's kind of like a curve. It's a curved driveway where they've already, like, you can see damage everywhere in this place from where trucks have hit stuff. So the fence along the curve of the driveway has been taken down for like 3 posts. Apparently that got run over at some point. There's other posts in the parking lot that you could tell have been hit. So as I'm coming around the curve, it's definitely tight, and then to make things worse, they have this big old white truck sitting out on my right hand side. So, and that's where the dock is. But I need to swing the truck in there as hard as I can to try to get the trailer moved over there, and to give me space to swing around in. And so I was watching my trailer go by the back of that truck, and then almost as soon as that cleared, then I'm worried about stuff in front of me, in front and to my right. There was a set of stairs and a post that was right next to the dock, that stuck out a bit, so I had to avoid those, and then start making my turn and trying to sweep the trailer in to a good position. And I ended up actually going too deep. Later I figured out that I didn't really know how to judge how far in to go, but I would have, I don't know. I didn't know how to judge it correctly, and I ended up taking the trailer in too deep, so that when I finally got snaked around in the parking lot, it was bent to where I really needed, it was almost ended up, it was going to end up being like a blind side angled back, and just like there was stuff on my right that was cramping me from turning the way I wanted to with the cab. There was stuff on my left. There was a bunch of cars, so I only had this one very specific place that I could actually even put the tractor to move the trailer around. It wasn't very much, and it was like right up into some trees, and just as basically as far as I could go. But I still couldn't get the angle I wanted with the to move the trailer where I wanted it. everything was just so cramped, and I must have got on the whole thing. I probably got out and looked like 30 times. It was crazy. I was getting out and looking all the time because I couldn't see anything back there. And they had some people came out and tried to help me. And I thought because they had seen this done before, maybe they knew something. So I was sort of taking their direction. But I ended up figuring out that what they wanted me to do, I didn't have room to do, like, to make the maneuvers that they were trying to get me to do for those to actually work. It was kind of a counterintuitive situation where I needed to work the trailer tandems more to the left, and everything they were having me do, I could see that the tandems were actually walking to the right, and they kept trying to have me do the same things. They were getting frustrated, and I was between, like, I kind of knew that the thing I needed to do was counterintuitive to them, but it was kind of an awkward situation where I didn't want to flat out tell them that they're wrong, or like the one guy, I guess it seemed like maybe the owner or one of the more senior guys, he was kind of nervous. I mean, obviously he'd seen this happen a bunch of times, but his tolerance for how close I could get to stuff was really like 2 feet or something, where I needed to be able to get inches with it from things to make the whole thing work, because I just didn't have much room to play with. And like, he was getting nervous when I was still like, there was space I could use, but he was really nervous about it, and kept waving me off and stuff. And so eventually I could tell it wasn't working out. I didn't know what to do, but I could see that I could actually get the tractor out of the spot and try again, because I had looked at the satellite images of the area, because I had thought that I might have to turn around, and there wasn't space in the lot to turn around, so I had looked for a way that I would be able to turn around if I thought I was going to a different building. I thought I was going to dock in a different building that would have required it. So I already had planned a way to turn around to get back in, so I could get back into the lot. So I could see that opening, and I had learned already, like, I felt like I had learned that I had gone in too deep with the tandems the first time. Like, if I had tried again, maybe I could get a better go at it, and then I could the whole thing could be a lot better. So that's what I ended up doing, is pulling back out of the lot, and taking the first left out of their place down to a traffic circle. It was tight, but it was a safe way to turn around. There was a lamp post on. They had like this it's real like artsy and looks nice to have some curves and stuff in it, but it makes it a lot harder to pull a truck through with the trailer. And there was a lamp post on the one corner that I was a little concerned about, but I got through there, and I actually got around the circle without. I had my 4-ways on. People know I move super slow around it, but I actually managed to get around it without even going up on the apron. And part of the reason I know how to do that is that's one of the sections I actually did read out of the manual at some point. Was a little section on how to negotiate circles or roundabouts. So I put that to use, got the truck turned back around so I could go back to the entrance, go back through the squiggly parking lot, go back past that truck, but then not go quite so deep when I did my turn. and ended up in a much better position. I still had to do a bunch of get out and looks because I couldn't see everything I wanted, and it still ended up being that like the blind side angled back with very little room for any of what I really wanted to do, but ended up working it back anyways and got it done. Oh, and some of the people that had been trying to help had gotten frustrated and left while it gave them like a break so that they could feel like they could get out of there, which relieved both of us, I think, because their advice hadn't been working, but they were definitely trying to help, but it had not been working. So being able to work it out on my own actually helped improve things, because I was able to do things that I had actually that were part of my training that wouldn't, I don't know. It was a few little counterintuitive things that got the trailer moved back exactly where it needed to be, and got it docked, and took a while to unload it, and then actually even getting back out was still another. It wasn't just like a pull out and turn. I had to do a full like maneuver to get to back first to pull the trailer forward, and then swing it back and back it into a space so that I could turn around with the tractor and get it out. And so anyways, that's I consider myself a level 1 driver. I'm definitely new. I might be close. Well, I don't know. Level 2 might be a little much. I don't know. Depends on how many levels there are. I have definitely been improving. I got some really great training in Atlanta that has been a foundation from which I've been able to build on really well for it's like maneuvering the trailer. Once I basically giving it a try, do the setup the way you're supposed to, give it a try, and then when I see it's not going perfectly well, knowing what to do before it gets really bad, or before, like, instead of just like retrying, starting over, knowing what maneuvers to do to get the results I want. And that's not completely obvious if you haven't had a little bit of training like that. And so that has really helped and increased my confidence. The other day, I think was it yesterday, I did 3 good angled backs, and 2 were into tight spots, and it took me a little bit of a few good get out and looks and a few pull forwards, but I did them pretty smoothly, and felt really pretty good about it. And so it seems to just be just getting more experience. And it was like, it's one of those things where that my intentions, I can see what I want, and I can get what I want. So like I can see that I want more space on my my right hand side, so my tractor has maneuver space to swing around, and I knew how to get that while keeping the trailer pointed in the right direction. So just stuff like that where I knew what I want, I knew how to get it, and it feels good to be moving things in a positive direction and getting better at my job, because that is really important to me, that I would like to be good at the job. I know it takes time, and this is just part of the process. So I guess that's a little story of feeling like I wasn't fully qualified to make this backing maneuver, but ended up with lots of get out and looks, a little bit of trying again. I got it done eventually, and glad I don't have to do it every day though. We'll see. I'll probably improve, and I wonder if I'll ever deliver to that place again. We'll see. So that's it for now. I'll sign off and see you later.